Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is my very first video and I don't know how to give an introduction actually, but this is my first video. It's me reading Buried. As you can see on the screen, Buried is an interactive story. The plot will change based on the choices you make. The story is broken into 5 chapters. Play straight through or at your own pace. There's no waiting and no pauses. Enjoy and choose wisely. So, let's begin. Ooh, it's like a really eerie background music, and it's at night. I open my eyes, and the first thing I want to do is scream. I'm flat on my back, and everything seems to hurt. The trees overhead look familiar. It's a clear night sky, almost beautiful, except for the fact that this means I've been out cold for at least 6 hours. But there's something wrong. I don't remember what, but something happened and my God, my head hurts and a ringing in my ears. Was there an accident? An explosion, I think. I remember Dennis screaming, but after that, I can't remember. As I sit up, I notice that my hard hat has been thrown off. I look around the area, but it's not here. It feels strange to go anywhere without my hard hat, but I've got to find the other members of the crew. They could be in danger. I'm like really attached to inanimate objects, so I'm gonna go search for my hard hat. I get on my shaky legs and look around for a moment. A few nearby trees look to have been splintered and broken at the base recently. They certainly weren't like this earlier. Searching for the hard hat feels normal. It makes me feel like maybe there isn't something wrong here. I see it behind a fallen log about 10 feet away from me. How it was thrown so far is beyond me. Driven by nothing more than habit, I walk over to it, pick it up, and place it on my head. Next, I walk over to the center of the logging site and don't like what I see. Okay. The logging site looks like a bomb was detonated right in the center. I don't know where to start. The one load we had managed to stack on a truck for the day is overturned. The trailer bent and the logs hang off the back. Where the hell is everyone? My head is killing me and this ringing in my ears. I can't hear anything. Not birds, not my footsteps, nothing. It makes me wonder if I hit my head after my hard hat flew off. I run through a quick mental checklist to make sure my brain is still working. My name is Roger Hastings. I'm 41 years old. The year is 2017. I own a small logging company and we've been logging in this strip of Kentucky woodland for almost a month now. Okay, so my brain works. That's a relief, but it also makes me fearful because something is certainly not right here. I look around the logging site, my mind trying to figure out what has happened. Just about every piece of equipment has been overturned or tilted. Let's look at the debris. There are bits of debris everywhere. There are fragments of the 5-gallon bucket I keep our work rag in, a loose saw chain, and an overturned gas canister. Had there been an explosion, all of the fuel on site would have started a fire, but there's no charring, no burning, nothing. I walked through the area where Dennis had been working. From the looks of it, he'd been moving slowly. He'd only taken down 4 trees today. His metal lunchbox is open, an indicator that he had been taking an early break. But he's not here. No one is here. Where the hell is everyone? I could try to make a call on my cell phone, but its battery is already running really low. Not that it matters. The reception is crap out here. Yell out or call someone on the cell. Well, if there's no reception, let's go ahead and yell out. Hey guys, where is everyone? Tony, Dennis, Frank, Joe? But their names fall flat among the wreckage. I get nothing back other than scaring away a few birds overhead. Might as well start walking and try to find some answers. The highway is almost a mile back through the woods, down the gravel road we used to reach the site. Maybe the crew ran that way for help. But why would they have left me? Were they scared? Out of sorts? Maybe I can catch up to them. But with my truck turned over on its side, it looks like I'll be walking. My God, I can't even remember what I was doing before waking up on my back. Wait, what's that? Underneath the bulldozer. Oh my God, it's a leg. It has to be either Tony or Dennis. The dozer looks unstable, like it might roll some more. Might not be safe to get close, but at the same time, I can't just leave him there. Alright, well, I don't want to be alone, so let's go ahead and look. Hey, I yell. Are you okay? Are you alive? Holding onto my hat, I skip over the wrecked equipment and stray logs to get closer. I can see a bit more of the leg. The jeans are soaked in blood. I recognize the work boot. It's clearly Tony. His leg is bent at an almost impossible angle, nearly crushed flat. The closer I get, the more apparent it becomes that Tony didn't survive. Leave the body alone, pull the body out. So if Tony didn't survive, let's... I'm like too weak to pull any body out, but let's just do it. I try to pull him out, but he's just not budging. That's when I see the blood coating the ground under him. It's thick and fresh, so dark on the dirt that it looks black. As I'm tugging, I hear something crunch, but I somehow manage to pull him out. His legs are absolutely crushed and his stomach looks deflated. Blood is covering everything from the navel down. His face was turned to the right when he was crushed. It looks like a broken plastic mask, seeping with blood and bits of shattered skull. My God, I can't believe this. I have to turn away. That's when I hear a deafening creaking noise and I'm bashed in the head from behind as the bulldozer shifts lower to the ground. I roll clear and end up on my back, my eyes struggling to focus. I'm a little shaken up, but I'm fine. Thank God I was wearing my hard hat. I quickly get up and dust myself off. I can't stay here. I have to find Dennis, Frank, and Joe. I have to find out what happened here. Alright, so there's 5 of them as far as I can tell, and Tony is definitely gone. Rest in peace, Tony. Okay. As I walk through the stack of logs from the last week or so of work, everything feels frozen. This high-pitched sound in my ears. It's terrible. It keeps happening every few seconds and sounds like it's coming from far away. I can't help but wonder, is it my ears or is it something else? The silence out here is creepy, and there's a smell, like the atmosphere after a bad summer storm. I might as well admit it, I'm a little scared. Everyone is missing and it's dead quiet out here. There doesn't even seem to be a breeze to rustle the leaves and branches. My right knee hurts like hell. My head was hurting so bad before that I never even noticed the pain in my knee. I must have heard it during the what? Accident? Or... Wait, is that Dennis? I see him sitting on the ground, motionless, about 30 feet away. Yell out or walk up? What's the difference? Let's just walk up a little closer, in case it's not Dennis, you know what I mean. He's just sitting there, not moving. I walk up slowly next to him. Dennis? Hey man, can you hear me? I tap him on the shoulder. He looks up at me from the ground, clearly coming out of a daze. Yeah, Roger, I hear you, he says. Dennis is built like a wrestler and has a tough personality to match, but in this moment he looks disoriented and even a little anxious. Though I'm glad to see him, the fear on his usually confident face is alarming. What the hell happened? What's going on? He asks. Don't know, the crew is missing. An explosion, I think. Let's focus on the crew because I want to know what's happened to the crew. Missing, Dennis says? Where do you think they went? I'm not sure, I say, but it has me pretty freaked out. Something's not right here. Still sitting on the ground, he looks around the woods as if he is just now understanding the severity of the situation. The equipment has overturned. The dozers too, I say, shifting my hard hat and wiping my forehead. You okay? I ask him. Yeah, just shaken up. Me too. This might be the most intimate conversation Dennis and I have ever had. While he and I have always been on good terms, we've never been particularly close. I've always respected him, though. Sure, he's come to work a few times, looking like he'd been in a bar fight the night before. But I've always seen him do an enthusiastic impression of a dinosaur as he played with Tony's kids while they waited for their dad to finish up his shift. It's then that it hits me. Dennis and Tony were good friends. I'm not sure I want to rattle him with news of Tony's death right now, not before we know what's going on, but he has a right to know. So, I'm not the type of person who can keep a secret, so we're just gonna blurt out the fact that Tony is dead. Oh my god. Oh my god. I was scared. Alright, so something changed maybe? It said, you were upfront with Dennis about Tony. Dennis' eyes fixated on me, startled. He was crushed under the dozer, I say. Dennis pauses for a moment, like he is trying to understand what I said. His eyes narrow and his bottom lip quivers. Shit, he says, and I can tell that he is fighting back tears. He and Tony had been tight, almost like brothers. Hey, he adds quickly, as if trying to escape the reality of Tony's death. Did you see that light? No, I say. What did you see? I don't even know, Roger, he says. It was like this flare of white light. It came right up out of the ground, like an explosion. So there was an explosion, I say. Maybe it was some equipment, or... This was no equipment, Dennis interrupts, agitated. This huge ball of light came right out of the damn ground. What did it look like? Where did it go? I'm not sure I care what it looked like. I am curious, where did it go, though? It just shot up into the sky until it was out of sight. When? I'm not sure, he answers, but I had finished about 10 trees for the day and was about to top one. That's when it happened. You were almost done with 10 trees, I asked. Yeah, he says, looking at the ground. You know, I wouldn't want to take a lunch break until I was done. Okay. And that's when that light blew up. Why? You don't believe me? I believe you. I think you're exaggerating. You know what? What's wrong with exaggerating? If someone's exaggerating, why you gotta point it out, okay? So, I totally believe Dennis. We bros. Oh my god. I'm not gonna choosing... Okay. You believe Dennis's story. He saw what he saw. I think to myself, he has no reason to lie about this. My god, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, he says. But if I'm being honest, it scared me pretty bad. And if that's all the same to you, I'd like to get the hell out of here. We both stand up and start heading towards the road. It isn't until we start moving that I see Dennis is wounded. His right side is coated in blood, the red seeping through his blue work shirt. There are splatters of it here and there, but also a very large red splotch that makes me worry. Are you in a lot of pain? How'd you get that injury? Judging by the amount of blood we're being told, I'm pretty sure it's really painful, so I'm just gonna ask him how he got hurt. I'm not sure, Dennis replies. I must have gotten thrown or hurt somehow from that light. It's then I noticed that the strange ringing noise is still filling the air. Hey, I said, stopping. Do you hear that high-pitched ringing noise every once in a while? Dennis looks scared when I ask him that question, and he just nods. I thought it was just me, he says. He looks out of sorts and uncertain. I've never seen him like this before. It's obvious that he's looking for some reassurance. Even though I'm his boss, there's something very unnerving about this. We'll be okay. It's probably nothing. It's freaking me out. Okay, so in this situation, I'm a dude named Rogers. I'm pretty sure I have more balls than my normal self, so we'll be okay. It's probably nothing. Let's be realistic, I tell myself. I might as well try to be empathetic. Out here in the middle of these woods, the ringing could be anything. Maybe a car alarm from through the woods or something. Still, even my passive comment seems to have reassured Dennis. He looks a bit calmer, more relaxed. We both start moving forward and don't say another word. Did you try to call Frank? Dennis asks. I know he had his cell on him today. Not yet. Luckily, I still have some battery left. I pull out my cell and call Frank, happy I didn't make that call to Dennis earlier. It rings, but he doesn't pick up. But then I hear his phone go off behind the stack of logs. Dennis and I give each other a look. As the phone goes to voicemail, I hang up, and we walk behind the logs to find Frank's phone on the ground, abandoned. We look around for Frank, but find nothing, not a single trace. It's then that I notice something really odd, a 10-foot wide hole in the ground right near where the phone was, but there's no stray piles of removed dirt or rocks. It's clean, smoothly dug, cutting into the earth, wide but only a few feet deep. It looks unnatural, like the ground was just deleted, no shovels or diggers used. Dennis walks over to it. This looks like the same kind of hole where I saw that light come from the ground. He muses to himself. I say nothing. My mind is spinning, but I don't know what to think. We need to get out of here, Dennis mutters. At that moment, that ringing noise carries through the forest again, sending a shiver down my spine. Dennis is right. There's something strange going on, and we might not be safe here. But that ringing sound could be a clue to where the rest of the crew went. So just so you guys know, I have goosebumps right now, and my hair standing up, because this atmosphere, this background music, or this background sound, and the descriptions, and the whole not knowing what's going on is actually kind of freaky. So let's check out that sound. Agreed. Let's get away from here. I'm not curious about the sound. Let's just get away from here. Oh my god. You decided to avoid the sound. With that, we turn and start walking to the west, in the direction that I'm pretty certain leads to the road. Okay. Please no jump scares. Please. Please. Okay, I think we're good. Alright. It's sort of embarrassing. I have been a logger for nearly 15 years, but I'm finding it easy to get lost in these woods. The trees are so thick in places that the moonlight doesn't even reach the ground. It's easy to get turned around. My only hope is that I can find the overgrown dirt road that will lead us back to the highway. You sure we're headed the right way? Dennis asks. Pretty sure, I say. I turn to him and see that he's clearly in pain. It's at this moment that we come upon another one of those smooth holes. This one is even stranger because a nearby tree also has a chunk cut out of it. The arc goes smoothly through the ground and then up through the trunk, like a cartoon wrecking ball blasted through the both of them. What the hell are these things? Dennis whispers to himself. He takes a step down into the hole, his boots creating imperfections in the shape, like footprints on a sand dune. Step down into it, walk around the perimeter. So, I don't know how deep this hole is, so let's figure that out. Let's step down into it. I step down with Dennis into the hole, if that's even what you could call it. As I stoop down to examine it, I'm amazed at how smooth it is. Even rocks that were under the earth had been sheared to fit the spherical shape. It's then that I feel the ground beneath my feet start to sag. By the time I'm aware of what's happening, the ground is giving way and I'm falling. I cry out in surprise and can barely hear Dennis letting out a curse as we go down into the earth. I guess we're completely underground now. The fall isn't a long one, but when I hit something a few seconds later, it hurts like hell. The wind goes rushing out of me when I hit, and a sharp pain flies through me. What the hell? I say once my breath is back. Beside me, Dennis is slowly rolling over to get to his feet. I look up and see the hole in the ground where we fell through. It looks to be about 10 feet over our heads. It's completely dark, but there's a small flicker of light further into the cave ahead of us, and a solid wall of rock behind us. Looks like the only ways out are further down the cave or up through the way we fell in, which is impossible to go back up, right? Dennis might be able to boost me up there, but with his injury, I'm not sure how stable he is. He might drop me. Try to climb out, head into the cave. So if I climb out, I'm not really worried that Dennis can't boost me. I'm kind of worried that Dennis won't be able to crawl up with me or like climb up with me. So I'm not gonna leave Dennis behind. Let's be real, he's the only friend I have right now, so let's just head into the cave. I decide we'd better not risk hurting ourselves trying to climb out. As we turn to head into the cave, I take a closer look at the light further ahead and realize it's artificial. We both start heading towards it instinctively. As we step into the light, panic gently gnaws at me because what I'm seeing makes absolutely no sense. It's no longer a cave or hole, it's a long, sparsely lit corridor. Alright, so might not have been a bad idea. Although, it's a very creepy corridor. It's a massive corridor. In fact, it seems to go on forever. This corridor is mostly dark, with emergency lights every 10 feet or so. I turn to my left and see that there's a door which appears to lead upwards to the outside, but it's locked tight. I push as hard as I can, but no luck. Dennis, help me out with this, I say. He comes over and we both try to kick the door open, but it doesn't budge. For some reason, someone doesn't want people getting out of here. Looks like we're headed down the hallway. Tiptoe quietly, walk quickly. I'm gonna go... I have no idea. Alright. Closing my eyes, pretending I'm in this like creepy hallway, corridor, long thing. I'm gonna walk quickly. I'm eager to figure out what's going on here. Our footsteps echo loudly in the dust and the dirt. Dennis leans on me for support. If there is anyone here, it's not like we're trying to be quiet and stealthy with the intention of sneaking up on them. If anyone is listening, they definitely know we're here now. As I carry Dennis to the far end of the otherwise featureless place, I see a flight of concrete stairs leading down. I have to set Dennis down on the floor. His weight is killing me. Dennis, are you okay? Stop worrying, man, he says. I'll be okay. I just need a minute to rest. But looking at him, I'm not so sure. I can still hear the ringing noise every so often, coming from somewhere in here. I look ahead at the concrete stairs, pointing towards them so that Dennis sees them. Can you make it down those stairs, I ask? He stands up slowly and is visibly making an effort to not fall back down. Yeah, he says, and sounds a little irritated. He starts for the stairs without me, and I have no choice but to follow. We approach the stairs, and by just looking at them, I get the sense that we're crossing some sort of line here. There may very well be no going back. Well, considering we're going down, I'm pretty sure we're not going, out. Oh, were the corridors going up? No, we're going down. As I head down the stairs, I notice that they look aged. That damn ringing noise is somewhere below, louder than ever. I feel like I'm walking down into the cellar of a haunted house, the light becoming scarce as the stairs take a slight turn. I can feel the temperature drop. Dennis makes it a few steps down before he is leaning on the wall. He's breathing like he just finished a marathon. Pause to give him a break, keep up the pace. Why not just... what's 10 seconds, right? Let's take a break, I say, putting my hand towards his shoulder to help steady him. Dennis lets out a sigh. Thanks, I don't feel too great, boss. As we both squat down on a stair, my mind seems to lock in on the unknown fate of the rest of my crew. Frank is married, and I've met his wife a few times, a nice woman with a huge laugh. My heart sags a bit when I realize I might never again get to hear him belting out classic rock tunes during lunch break. Joe, well, I don't know too much about him. He's 22 years old and is considering community college. His folks are deadbeats, so he has been providing for himself since the age of 16 or so. Maybe I can still find them and still get to hear Frank singing in his deep baritone voice after a few too many drinks. After a few moments, Dennis says, "All right, let's keep going." We both stand up, leaning on each other. I have to make Dennis stay behind me as I stick my foot out in search of the next step. I can't help feeling like a child as a very powerful fear seizes me. I'm expecting a monster to reach out of the darkness, slicing into my throat. After what feels like forever, we come to the bottom of the stairs. We're closer to that ringing noise now. A door sits securely in the wall and looks just as out of place down here as I feel. A sliver of light seeps through, illuminating the area. The door has what looks like a panel with lots of labels and lights. Small embossed print above the panel says Level 1 Entrance Gate, Transport Sector. And there's a button with no label. Inspect the panel, push the button. I like pushing buttons, so we're just gonna go ahead and push that button. Although I'm curious what the panel has to say. Alright, let's just inspect the panel first. The panel looks like a diagnostic or alert system of some kind, each label meant to communicate some status. Lockdown engaged, experiment in progress, shutdown engaged. Those all appear to be off, but one of the phrases has a slowly blinking red light next to it. The only powered light on this whole thing. Abnormal entity breach. What the hell? I slowly push the door open when Dennis suddenly steps in front of me, taking the lead. Let's go, he says. I want to find out what the hell this place is. As Dennis walks through, that ringing or beeping or whatever it is gets a little louder. The door closes behind us with a click. I can't help but notice the wobble in Dennis's step as he lets out a grunt. You sure you're healthy enough to keep going, I ask? It doesn't matter. I don't want to be in the woods right now. He seems scared, something I've never seen before. Angry, yes. Upset, yes. But Dennis is never scared. I'm just gonna ask him what he saw because I feel like they're the same questions actually. I don't know what it was, boss. It was like someone had left a radio on, crackling. But we don't have any radios at the site. I don't know. It was like something in the forest was moving. I give him a doubtful look and he casts his eyes to the ground, frustrated. I know how it sounds, he says, but I know what I felt. It was like walking into a funeral parlor, feeling death and gloom everywhere. I've been so preoccupied with my own fear that I nearly forgot about the ringing noise, and it became just background noise. We take a few more steps, and I can now see where we are. It makes no sense. Yet another thing that simply seems out of place. The shapes and muted colors of metal are easy to identify, but it just doesn't belong here. Hey, it's the end of chapter 1. So probably, I actually don't know how long I've been recording this episode. Hopefully it's a good, decent amount of time and you guys enjoyed listening to this story and it's pretty awesome right now. I still have goosebumps. I'm super scared actually. So I'm glad that you guys are here with me spiritually because, this is a recording, but I am really enjoying this. So I'm definitely going to be reading chapter 2. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but, let me know your comments and any suggestions you have. I did not end up editing this at all because I don't know how to edit. I just got a recording software and I just went with it. But this is the end of chapter 1. If you've stayed this far, thank you so much for listening. And I will see you guys in chapter 2. All right.